Tonight, justice for the family of murdered police officer Matt Ratner. Louis de Zoysa, who smuggled a gun into a custody unit in South London, is found guilty of firing 2 fatal shots at the officer. His partner speaks for the first time.
Whilst the court case has concluded, the constant feeling of grief and loss continues. My love for Matt, my gentle giant, will never end.
Also ahead, the family of the Surrey sub-explorers who died by the wreck of the Titanic pay a touching tribute. A family speak out and ask why more isn't being done to stop bullies from filling their son's school bag with racist messages. And
there's even a song about you. Did you know that? Sally, Sally, pride of our alley. Do you know that one?
Serenading Sally, Kate Garner's tribute to one of our own. Good evening. It was a crime that shocked the capital when Metropolitan Police Sergeant Matt Ratner was shot in the chest while he was at work at a custody centre in South London. Today, Louis de Zoysa was found guilty of his murder and will be sentenced next month. The 25-year-old smuggled an antique gun into a holding cell in Croydon before using it while he was handcuffed to fire 2 bullets at the officer. Today, Matt Ratner's partner said her love for him will never end. Helen Keenan's report contains footage of the moments before he was shot.
Handcuffed in a holding room, arrested after hiding handmade bullets.
My name's Matt, I'm the custody officer, I'm in charge.
Louis de Zoysa had smuggled a gun into the cell in South London.
I can authorise a search of you under section 54 of PACE. Stand up.
Firing 3 shots in 3 seconds.
You're good enough to...
One, ending Police Sergeant Matt Ratner's life.
Welcome to East Grinstead Rugby Football Club. I'm Matt Ratner, head coach.
The Met police officer had been coaching his local rugby team just hours before the start of his shift, which ended in his murder. 25-year-old de Zoysa had been stopped as part of a routine search in September 2020 in Norbury, eventually admitting he had drugs on him.
Non-medical cannabis.
You got anything on you like sharp that can hurt me or you? No?
As the search continues, so do the lies, as they discover the ammunition.
Canisters. Right, at the moment, I'm placing you under arrest for possession of what I believe to be bullets.
But fail to find the weapon they were intended for. He'd bought the antique gun online and made the bullets himself. Fidgeting in the police van, he moves the gun from a holster under his arm into his waistband. Matt Ratner ordered a search with a metal detector. Suddenly, de Zoysa fires 4 times. The final shot hit himself, leaving him brain damaged. During his murder trial, he sat in a wheelchair in the dock, using a whiteboard to communicate. At Northampton Crown Court, he blamed his actions that night on an autistic meltdown. But jurors didn't believe his defence of diminished responsibility, unanimously finding him guilty in just 5 hours of deliberation.
Today is about the justice for Matt. Whilst the court case has concluded, the constant feeling of grief and loss continues. My love for Matt, my gentle giant, will never end. He will never be forgotten.
Just hold his jacket
Officers who carried out the search have been defended by the force.
I have had the opportunity to view all of the footage of the officers' actions. I have met the officers. They have my utmost support. They really do.
This video was released just after the verdict.
Everyone else came first with Matt. That's basically the sort of guy he was.
He was such a special person in getting you to believe in yourself.
He meant a lot to a lot of people.
Fellow officers wanting to pay tribute, decades of experience and only months away from retirement, taken away in one moment. His killer will be sentenced for murdering Matt Ratner next month. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
The family of the teenager from Surrey who died on board the missing Titanic sub with his father have said he was terrified of the trip but wanted to go with his dad because it was Father's Day. Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son were 2 of 5 people who died in the catastrophic implosion of their craft. Today, doubts about the safety of the vessel have been raised and people in Surbiton have given their reaction to the news. From there, Kafok Pata reports.
They searched, they hoped and they prayed for a father and son to return safely to their home in Surrey. Last night, worst fears were confirmed. Shahzada Dawood, his son Suleiman and 3 other crew members had lost their lives at sea.
Suleiman was just there for a Father's Day bonding experience.
As the news of their death sinks in, so come the tributes, the tears. Today they came from an aunt and sister.
For Shahzada, he fulfilled his dream in an extraordinary way. He's become part of the Titanic legend.
The story of what's happened at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean is one that has gripped the world, but for the wife and neighbours of the Dawoods, this tragedy is far closer to home.
All throughout today, people have been sharing condolences and memories of Shahzada and his son Suleiman. But one which really brings home what happened came from here, the local shopkeeper. He described Suleiman as coming over just days before their trip to buy presents for Father's Day. He said that he was very excited about their submarine trip, a trip that he hoped would be quality bonding time with his father.
It just so happened that today was graduation day of the University of St Rathclyde, where Suleiman studied. In 2 years, he too would have been wearing the cape and gown.
He was a good student, that he was involved in the sports union very much, and we tried to remember him and just remember about his mother who's going through those sad moments.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Much has been speculated as to how and why the Titan sub went down. Some say the vessel wasn't fit for purpose, and it's those thoughts of what if that's brewing anger.
The entire deep submergence community actually, or not the entire community, but a large number of them got together to write a letter to OceanGate, the company, and say, we believe that this could lead to catastrophe.
And it did, and in doing so claimed the lives of Shahzada Dawood and his son, Suleiman.
Well, CAF's here now, and the family have been given their reaction too today, haven't they?
They have. I mean, this is news which has shocked the entire world, particularly the family of Shahzada and Suleiman. And earlier today, they put out a statement saying, we try to find solace in the enduring legacy of humility and humanity that they have left behind, and find comfort in the belief that they passed on to the next leg of their spiritual journey, hand in hand, father and son. Now, questions have been raised about whether the family can claim some sort of legal action. Now, the thing is, it's up to businesses to decide how they regulate and how they offer dangerous services to clients. And one of the things which is important to note is that businesses will often ask you to sign a waiver in the event of injury or death. The thing is, these waivers, they're not necessarily legally binding, and it depends on like a range of factors, one of which is duty of care, and it's going to be very important in the months and weeks and days coming up.
It is indeed a terrible story. Thanks very much indeed, Kath. And that is one of the stories making the ITV Evening News at 6:30. Here's Gamal Fanbele with the details.
Coming up, guilty of murder, the gunman who shot a policeman in a custody cell. Luis de Zoyzis smuggled a revolver into a police station following his arrest. Still in handcuffs, he opened fire on Sergeant Matt Ratner. Tonight, the unanimous verdict as the murder trial concludes. Also ahead, bank bosses summoned to Downing Street. What help for borrowers as the mortgage crisis deepens? And all the latest from Glastonbury as the music gets underway. We speak to first-timers Rick Astley and Maisie Peters. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Police investigating the disappearance of a London man last seen in Islington almost 2 years ago are searching 2 areas in the East Midlands. Frank McKeever was spotted on CCTV on the 28th of August 2021 on Highbury Park and has not been seen since. The 63-year-old stepdaughter and her partner have been charged with his murder, which they both deny. The Metropolitan Police gave an update on how Frank's family are coping.
They are still coming to terms with the news. They're still very upset. They're being supported by specially trained officers at the moment. But on top of their grief, they have to deal with the fact that they're not able to bury their loved one. And that just adds to the stress for them.
The father of a boy who's been subjected to repeated racist abuse at his school in Maidenhead has told ITV News the ordeal has taken a huge toll on his family. Aram Kujinga's 14-year-old son Cooper came home with offensive notes that were left in his school bag. The family say it's not the first time it's happened and are calling on Desborough College to do more to combat racism. Staff there say they take the issue very seriously and have a zero-tolerance policy. Well, a warning, Daniel Henry's report contains details of some of the offensive and racist remarks.
Cooper is 14 years old. This week, his school bag was stuffed full of racist insults.
Found the notes in my bag on Monday. So when I came back from school, I showed my mum. She looked through them with me. She asked if I was okay and stuff. And said she would talk to the school about it.
The notes he's talking about said things like, "Go back home and go pick some cotton." We've blurred the rest.
What I saw is something that I said to myself, not even one parent or any individual would want to see that. And especially in the era that we live now, is just difficult.
But this isn't the first time a racist incident has been reported at school.
It's happened twice before, 2 separate occasions. 2 different boys called me a monkey while we were in class.
They called you a monkey?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about going to school, going to that particular school?
Makes me feel kind of like worried that it could happen again, because it has happened again, even though the school said it wouldn't, but it still has.
Desborough College say, "We have a zero-tolerance policy to all forms of discrimination, including racism. We took immediate action and are continuing to support the pupil and family involved." As a father, as a family, how are you handling this?
Right, as a family, it is difficult. It's something that's it's overwhelming. When I went into school with my wife, she was in tears. When we were speaking to the teachers there, she was in tears. And this is the reason why she's actually said, you know what, she's not able to face the cameras in terms of this, because emotionally she's just wrecked. It's devastating.
Cooper and his family are determined to get to the bottom of this. Thames Valley Police say they're supporting the school with their investigation. Daniel Henry, ITV News.
A 43-year-old man has been charged with 3 counts of attempted murder following a stabbing spree at a North London hospital on Wednesday. Matteo Bottarelli is further charged with 2 counts of threatening violence at the Central Middlesex. 2 of the 3 victims are being treated in hospital, with one thought to have life-changing injuries. An obsessed man who followed a woman from Pakistan to the UK and killed her has been jailed for a minimum of 20 years. Mohammed Arslan suffocated Hina Bashir with a face mask in his East London flat in July last year before putting her body in a suitcase and leaving it by the side of the M25. And future strikes by security staff at Heathrow Airport have been called off as workers have voted to accept a pay offer. Walkouts had been set to take place over this weekend, but the Unite union said staff have agreed to a pay rise of between 15.5% and 17.5%. Still to come on the programme, we'll have the weekend weather forecast, plus Catford champ Ellie Scotney will be here to tell us all about her world title, and
oh, I do like to be beside the seaside.
Sally shows off her dulcet tones as she gets in on the action with musician Kate Garner. But first, a lot of us have been there. You park the car, there's no machine to pay, so you've got to work out how to use an app or call a number instead. It can all feel a bit of a hassle. Well, new figures from the RAC show that nearly a fifth of drivers say their council is either already scrapped or is planning to get rid of parking machines altogether. That's causing some anger in central London, as Anna Geary reports.
Across London, machines like this are becoming a thing of the past. Councils, including Kensington and Chelsea, Westminster and Barking and Dagenham, have phased them out. More recently, Enfield and Bromley have followed suit. It's sparking concerns from Londoners elsewhere who don't want to be forced onto their phones to pay for parking.
I think it's pretty inconvenient. I carry my smartphone with me everywhere, but my mum, for example, wouldn't. And I think she already finds it quite difficult to use things like Ringo and Pay As You Go.
If you've got to have a different app for every different borough, it's so complicated. You don't know which app to download.
It's impossible for elderly people, and for a lot of people, we're not all rich enough to have a smartphone.
But it's not just the elderly for whom the apps are proving problematic. Amanda Frolich teaches in nurseries across West London. She says sometimes the apps are unreliable.
Sometimes there's no internet or their system fails, and then you're having to phone up, and again, it's all wasting time. And they also ask for a PIN that you then might forget, and then you just get really frustrated.
A new report from the RAC reveals that almost a fifth of drivers nationwide say their council has scrapped parking payment meters or is consulting on doing so.
Right across age groups, people generally thought this was a bad idea. Around about 6 in 10 drivers we spoke to didn't feel that mobile apps should be the only way to pay for parking.
But the local government association insists work is being done to make the move away from meters as simple as possible. It has no plans to put the brakes on going digital anytime soon. Anna Geary, ITV News.
Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe was given a standing ovation at Glastonbury Festival earlier today after she spoke out about her ordeal in Iran. She was joined at left field by an all-female panel discussing the rights of women in Iran, where Ratcliffe was jailed for 6 years before returning home to northwest London in 2022. Now our guest tonight has gone from training in Catford to world champion at Wembley in super quick time.
For your winner by unanimous decision, and the new IBF Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Ellie Scotney.
Yes, boxer Ellie Scotney took the bantamweight title in just her 7th professional fight, a moment she says she will never forget. And I'm pleased to say Ellie is here now. Congratulations. I mean, that looked amazing. What sort of a moment was that for you?
Even hearing it back now, I still feel the same sort of joy, and it was surreal. It really was the best moment of my life.
Yeah, you look like you've got quite a tear coming down your face there, like as well. And this is the belt, the title belt that you won. Yeah. It's gorgeous. What's it like to have that draped over you?
Do you know, it fell down when they put it on, so I've had a bit more to eat now, so I hold it up, but it really seals the deal for me, and yeah, it's a real good moment in my career and my life.
Oh, it's brilliant. Now, you've actually described yourself as a new kid on the block. You've come through the ranks really quickly, haven't you? Just tell us about how that all happened.
Yeah, so I turned pro. I've had 7 fights, but, I took risks early on, and I always matched it up to quantity as opposed to the quality sort of thing. So it has happened quickly, but I've took the risk at the right time and I've been rewarded for it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you wear on, I noticed in the film, you wear on the back of your shorts, what's it says on the back?
Made in Catford.
And also you're born in Lewisham. I mean, how proud are you to come from there and to sort of represent London?
Yeah, my grassroots are a big part of my image, and it really keeps me grounded, and I think that's why boxing really drew me to it. So to represent my town as I do, it's a big thing for me, and it really is part of my identity.
Yeah, and you must have loads of people who are really proud of you at the moment, and none more than your granny, Eileen. She's 99 this year, and you went and took the belt to her and let her see it. How important is family support to you?
It's massive. My nan's 99 in August, and she's the backbone of our family, but I'm still not the boss in the house, even even with this. So she let it know, but it really was surreal, you know, taking it down and seeing her face.
Oh, that's brilliant. And so what is next for you? Because I don't know a lot about boxing, but you want to be an undisputed champion now, don't you?
Yeah, so the aim is there's 3 more champions in my weight, and, you know, I want to be the last one standing. So by the end of the year, I'm aiming for unifications and then undisputed next year.
How is it turning professional now? So you've kind of, you know, you don't have to have your job. You worked at a big kind of DIY place, shall we say? Is it really hard work, just training all the time and everything?
It is very hard work. It's 24 hours. The minute my head hits the pillow to the minute it wakes up, it is all boxing. But I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm blessed. I was given a talent, and yeah, I'm reaping the rewards. But it is 24/7. But I'm so grateful for the life I have.
It's brilliant. Do you want to encourage more girls to get into boxing? Because you went when you were 9, and you know, then you stopped and came back when you were 17.
That's correct. You know, I was the only girl in the gym at 9 years old, but now you walk in and there's probably more girls than there are boys, and it was the best thing I ever picked up. I see it when I was a kid and where it is to where it is now, and I encourage it so much. It really changes your life, and you're treated all equal. So if anyone's thinking if they want to try it, I'm open to give advice to anyone. So yeah, I encourage it massively.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's what we want to hear. Let's get more girls into boxing, and congratulations on being a world champion. Thanks very much, Ellie. Bye-bye. Now, it's been another scorcher this week, and it looks like the hot weather could continue into the weekend. Let's get all the details now with Kelsey Redmore.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Well, we certainly have had plenty of hot and humid conditions over the last few days. That does continue as we head on through into the weekend. But if we take a look at the overnight period first thing, well, it is going to be a dry night for all of us out there. Perhaps a little bit of cloud starting to push its way in as we head on through into the early hours of the morning. But as you can see, plenty of clear skies for a lot of us there. But despite those clear spells, unfortunately, the temperatures don't really fall away by much at all. In fact, not really dropping much. We've got overnight lows of 16 degrees Celsius, possibly holding up to 17 degrees Celsius in some spots. So a really hot, humid and muggy night to come, and uncomfortable night for sleeping. So definitely a night to ditch that duvet. So as you wake first thing in the morning, then a little bit of cloud around first thing, but still that shouldn't really spoil our day. We'll still get plenty of sunshine around, and even with spits and spots of cloud as we head on through into the afternoon lunchtime period, that will in fact just turn the sunshine a little bit more on the hazy or the milky side. And the temperature's really responding to all of that sunshine that we've got on offer tomorrow. Just take a look at this. We've got highs tomorrow of 30 degrees Celsius, so temperatures topping out a little bit higher compared to what we've had today. So do take care if you are heading out and about, as the UV levels are rather strong.
Vaillant Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Well, unfortunately, with all the hot, humid and sunny weather conditions we can expect over the next few days, that does mean bad news if you do suffer from hay fever, as levels will remain high as we go through into the next working week.
Finally, her father Chaz from Chaz and Dave may have had a stage companion, but his daughter Kate Garner is doing things differently. The musician's taking to the stage in Hoxton with a one-woman show called London Girl later this year, which has been inspired by her successful family. Well, Sally's been along for a preview and a little knees up.
Are you ready? Ready. Look at me.
Obviously, you don't have to ask me twice to join in.
Let's all go down the Strand, have a banana.
But the wonderful news is you can too.
All together now. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside.
Kate Garner is quite a talent, but then she has fantastic genes. The daughter of the late Chaz from Chaz and Dave, the soundtrack to her childhood was music.
Can't have a proper cup of coffee and a proper cup of coffee, but I love a cup of tea.
It was great fun, and there was music all the time.
Really?
And every Christmas, Dave's sister Mari would open her house to everyone. Right. She had a piano in there. And we would all go in there and play and sing till 4 in the morning.
Wow.
There was all the classic London food, like jelly deals on the go.
No.
Oh yeah, the lot. It was just how you imagine it.
The candle burned its amber glow. I never wanted you to go.
Kate will play her new show, London Girl, here at Hoxton Hall in November. It's laced with family stories, music hall tunes from the 20s and 30s, and some of her own.
You took me by the hand.
Her father Chaz loved this song, and it's from him that she inherited the ability to burst into song.
My dad would go around the house and anything, like a glass of water, I'm going to get a glass of water, and then he'd start singing a song about it and say, how do you know a song about that? It's just literally, it was a complete obsession and a passion in our lives. There's even a song about you. Did you know that? No. You've got your own song. Sally, Sally, pride of our alley. Do you know that one?
Lots of people go to me, Sally,
Sally, and then they stop.
I finally know how it goes.
That is your song.
Kate's piano style is called stride, which she learnt from her nan.
So you'll, instead of going
down
like that here, you're going there, so you're using all the bass.
One of Kate's most precious possessions is her nan's old songbook.
So I've got that, and I love just looking through it and then thinking, oh, how does that song go? And if I don't know it, I'll pick up the phone and I ask Dave, because he knows it. Oh, he's brilliant.
Singing funny little trick, let me put a Mary Ann, but you can't help laughing, can ya?
Thanks to Chaz and Dave, Kate also grew up a massive Spurs fan.
Every week we go, yeah, and we got to know them, you know, they were all part of the family. And
But Kate's London Girl show is about keeping the songs from the music hall era alive.
roll out the barrel.
She'll be back at Hoxton Hall in the autumn for a night of pure nostalgia.
But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Oh, Kate Garner, what a talent. Well, that's it from us. Gamal's got the ITV News at 6:30 for you next. But for now, from all of us on the London team, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.